Workspace templates. A template in GAPP is the collection of questions that you answer to detail what happened in an activity. If you have the workspace role of creator, administrator, or owner, then you can edit and update templates for the needs of your workspace. To get to the template settings, come down to the Workspace section in the side menu and come down to Library. You'll see in the library all of the templates that are available to your workspace. The name of the template, the activity type that it is, the core task category it falls under, whether it's been published or not, how many teams are using the template, whether it is a team default, whether it is locked to be used by the teams, and whether or not it is a private template. Locking a template to a team means that the template is assigned to a team and a team administrator cannot remove it from the team. If it is unlocked, then you can optionally set it as a team default. Team administrators can also set defaults. If the template is marked private, then the teams in the workspace will only be able to see the template if you, as a workspace administrator, have given permission to the team to see it. Let's show an example of adjusting or updating a template for use by the workspace. For example, let's say that in our Gospel Conversation template, we want to add a question that asks, what Gospel Conversation tool are we using? We'll select the Gospel Conversation, and then, in order to add a question, we'll make sure to expand this menu right here. Type of tool used, or Gospel tool used, is not one of the standard questions we have. As the workspace administrator, I want to have all of my teams in the workspace answer this question. So I will come to the Controls section of the library, and I'll select Single Select, meaning I want the users of the template to answer which one tool did they use during a particular conversation. I'm going to pull the single select over here and drop it down into this section of the template. I'll name it Tool Used, and it will be related to evangelism. And I want to make sure to enable the question. And I'll select Create. Now, to give the users options, I'm going to select it. I'm going to make sure to make a short label, just Tool. I'll add a description. I can select whether I want there to be an other option in the list of tools that can be picked from. For this example, I'm going to leave the other option unselected, and I'm just going to add two options that our team members could use. Option 1 and option 2. In the configuration section, We'll leave the question enabled so that our users can actually interact with the question. I'm going to leave the question as not required so that it can be optional for them to use. In this case, I don't need to make it hidden because it's not depending on some other condition of another question that was answered. This is a more advanced feature for when you want to only show a question if another question has been answered a certain way. And I'm not going to make it repeatable because I just want them to tell me the one tool that they used during that conversation. In your particular use case, you may want to set this configuration differently, but this is what I'm using for this example. In the appearance, there are several different ways we can make the question appear. With a drop-down, which is this type of configuration, with a radio button, which would just be a little dot that you select beside each selection, or a chip list where you select the name. And I'm going to select chip list. If I wanted to, I could select a default value, but I'm going to leave it blank so that the user is not influenced into selecting one of the two options. Now that I'm done, I'll select Publish in the GAPP Tutorials library, which is this workspace. And I get a warning saying I need to save or discard my changes, so I will select OK and come and select Save. Now my changes are saved, and I'll publish, and it's not working. Now that I'm finished, I'll select Save to save my changes, and I'll select Publish in the GAPP Tutorials library. I'll get a warning. Publishing in the GAPP Tutorials library will allow this question to be accessible to other templates. After publishing this question in the library, you will no longer be able to edit this question from this view. In order to continue editing this question, you'll have to go to the GAPP Tutorials library. So I'm going to select Yes, I want to publish. And now the question is available in my library and it is available here in the template. So I'm going to close that side menu, and I'm going to come back to Tutorial Team 2. And now, when I go to create an activity and go to Evangelism and Gospel Conversation, you can see that underneath Conversation Details, I now have the tool used question, and I can select either option 1 or option 2. Now, this enabled automatically the question to appear for all of my teams.